on, move it along there. Get those bales ready down there. I want this whole clear by dinner time. Come on now, come on.
Damn it, man. The price hasn't been as low as for years.
I'm well aware of that, Onedin. But it's the current price here in Liverpool today.
We've done business together now for years.
I hope we will again. Believe me, you'll not get a better price. Besides, you're half unloaded. So, is it agreed?
No, it is not. I'll bid you good day.
Up with it.
Right. You're clear.
Captain Baines?
Sir?
Get all this Jude back on board again.
What?
What? You heard me?
But why, sir?
Officer raising the class of Jude's fallen in Liverpool. We'll take it on to Scotland.
If you say so, sir. Lay there, Charlie!
Look out, man!
You all right? Oh, knocked the wind out of me, sir. Here, give me a hand. Oh! What is it? Oh, broke my arm, everything.
It's Mrs. Morris. That's 183. That's 22 and 10pence heap.
You should have a clerk to do that.
Clerks cost money.
But you're doing so well. I hear you're going to open another workshop down on the quay. You must be employing at least 30 women.
Yes, I am, but there's not as much profit in it as I'd hoped.
Well, why's that? The torn sacks you must buy for a song, and the cost of repairing them is trifling, surely.
3 halfpence.
3 halfpence? Oh, Letty, you must be out of your mind. My seamstresses work 60 hours for 15 shillings a week. I only hope they don't get to hear of the rates you're paying.
Sarah, I can't stay long. The Estolosa's docked.
Ah, then I'll come straight to the point. My committee is raising funds for a seaman's home.
And you want James to contribute?
Well, after all, he does make his livelihood from them.
That's true. Well, I'll have a word with him.
Look, for a substantial contribution, his name would go down on the list of benefactors.
Sarah?
Ah, that must be Robert with the carriage. I told him I'd be here.
Oh, thank goodness you're still here, Letty. I don't wish to distress you, but I understand there's been an accident on board the Estolosa.
Thank you for coming so promptly, Dr. Watson. Right. How does it feel?
Well, it hurts a bit, but a bottle of rum will soon dull the pains.
Got any lodgings ashore?
Yeah, there's no need. I can stay here.
A couple of times up and down the ship's ladder and you'll soon bust the other arm.
Oh, I can manage.
Oh, come on, man, a spell of shoal do you good. Warm bed, some good food, you'll soon be fit again.
I'm fit enough now, sir. All that'll do is just turn me soft.
Here, if it's money you're worried about...
No, it's not that, sir. I've got a few pounds put away for a rainy day.
Well, the trouble with you is you're so thick-skinned that you don't know when it's raining.
James?
Aye.
James?
Down here.
James, are you all right?
Hi. It's Captain Baines here.
Oh, thank heavens you're all right. Oh, I'm sorry, Captain Baines. That must have sounded very unfeeling of me.
No, there's no need to worry about me, Miss Gaunt. I've just been told I got a hide as sick as a rhinoceros.
Daniel, have you sent William on some errand?
No. Is he still resisting your attempts to make a horseman out of him?
Well, he asked Dunwoody if he might accompany him on the floor of the exchange. Dunwoody's just wasted half an hour looking for him. It's too bad.
Well, if he was on a ship, we'd know where he was.
Now, Daniel, don't start.
But as that isn't possible, let's find another solution.
Well?
Well, I've been thinking. The boy has proved he's got a good head for figures, but his function is no more than that of a glorified clerk.
Well, I must admit, since you've taken over the day-to-day running of the office, even I have time on my hands.
Yes, well, you fill your time riding and arranging dinner parties. William doesn't. He's growing restless, and it could lead him into mischief. Now, as we're opening this new office in London, why don't we send him there?
What?
Well, put him in charge of it. Give him a chance of responsibility.
William, run the London office?
Well, Elizabeth, in a few years, he'll be running Fraser's.
Well, yes, I know, but London...
Now, don't worry. Mr. Fowler's promised to keep an eye on him.
You've spoken to Mr. Fowler of this?
Yes.
I see. So, having first gained the approval of a clerk, you then deign to consult me. After all, I am only the boy's mother.
Elizabeth...
Daniel, you go too far. give you an inch and you take a mile. You want everything your way. Arrange my life, arrange my son's life, arrange the business.
Elizabeth, will you listen?
No, I will not.
We must discuss this.
There you go again, telling me what to do.
Well, it's a high time someone did.
I thought we employed a housekeeper to do that.
Well, if you must know, I got bored sitting about waiting for you. I thought you said you'd be no more than an hour.
Oh, well, I've been doing some ferreting around. Charlotte in?
No, I've sent her down to the mill with the wages. She'll be quite safe. The country air will do her good.
Letty, I've got some good news.
Don't tell me you bought yourself a watch.
No. Not. Listen.
I'm listening.
I've just been to see Harris at the bank. Well, I've paid off every penny that we owe. I'm a free man.
Why didn't you say so in the first place? Here's me standing here with a long face.
Hey, where are you going now?
I've got to have something to celebrate with.
Champagne?
I've been saving it up for this moment. I knew it wouldn't be far away.
Miss Gaunt, you're a remarkable woman.
I know.
Well, now, that's not the only good bit of news. After I left Harris, I went to the club. I met old George Avery. Now, he's gone over to steam, as you know, entirely, so... Why? He's got a couple of ships laid up in Scotland. So I'm buying them off him for a song. So apart from the jute, it's been a marvellous day.
Jute?
Aye. I've discovered why the price of my cargo's gone down. Some idiot has been mending old sacks.
If they ever discovered us meeting like this...
They'd probably ship me off to Australia or Jamaica or somewhere.
Would you go?
It hasn't happened.
But if it did, would you go? Or would you fight to go on seeing me?
Well, of course I'd fight.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm only happy when I'm with you. I mean, really happy.
I know. But if only it didn't have to be so secret, then we could meet more.
If we only could be properly betrothed, then they wouldn't object.
Be betrothed?
Well, you do want to marry me, don't you, William?
Yes. Yes, of course.
Well, perhaps we should tell our parents.
Yes. But when the time is right, that's more important.
Oh, William. I do love you.
It's magnificent.
Aye. Yes, it's a monument to a lifetime's hard work. That is something to be proud of.
And so you should be. I only wish Samuel could see it.
Well, he shall. I've engaged a photographer. Well, it's only right that he should see his inheritance. He can compare it with what he sees in America.
Oh, I'm so glad he settled down so well over there. He seems to be enjoying it. I do miss him.
Oh, come on, Sarah. We both know he's capable of standing on his own 2 feet.
Well, thank goodness for my committee work. Otherwise, I'd be forever worrying about him. Oh, by the way, I put your name down on my subscription list.
Subscription for what?
I told you last week for the Seaman's Home.
Well, there's one across the river.
I know that, but we need one in the dock area.
You'll be lucky if you find a site for that.
I found it. And I've been delegated to negotiate for it. I'll be seeing James tomorrow.
What's James got to do with it?
He owns the building. Now, what shall I put you down for? 50 or 100 guineas?
10.
10? Oh, Robert. You're a substantial figure in Liverpool, and for a subscription of 50 guineas, your name would go down on the list of benefactors and be published in the newspapers for all to see.
Oh, would it now? Oh, well, that puts quite a different light on it, doesn't it? And it would never do to be thought penny pinching. No, you'd better put me down for 100.
Did I get the message right? I am invited to dinner.
Yes, of course. Close the door, please.
Elizabeth, I know that changeability is part of your charm.
Daniel, we have a very serious problem on our hands.
For business?
No, William. He's upstairs changing for dinner, so we don't have much time.
Well?
William spent the afternoon with his cousin Charlotte. I came across them out at Dunham Woods. They were kissing. And it wasn't just a peck either.
Oh, I see.
Daniel, this is serious. It can't be allowed to continue.
Well, why not?
Why not?
Well, plenty of people get married when they're underage.
He is our responsibility till he's 21.
Oh, so now he's my son as well.
Anyway, why talk of marriage? That's quite out of the question.
Cousins do marry.
You know full well that any child of such a union could be...
Well, that's a chance in 1,000.
It's a chance I refuse to take. No, the answer is quite simple. We follow your suggestion and we send him away to London.
Oh, now that it suits your book.
I want you to tell him about it tonight.
Sorry if I kept you waiting, Mama. I didn't realize you were dining with us, sir.
Oh, neither did I until an hour ago.
William, your father has some very important news for you.
But news that will keep until after dinner, Elizabeth.
You? Mending sacks out there in the stable.
Oh, Letty's got another building on the quay as well.
Oh, has she? And tell me, how many women do you employ?
30, but I'd like to take on more.
Oh, Letty was thinking of using that old warehouse of yours on Burke Street.
Oh, was she? Well, that old warehouse is worth a lot of money.
But it's falling down. Even the bank can't sell it.
It happens to be on a site that the Harbour Board will be wanting in a few years' time.
Well, yes, but in the meantime...
Really? I'll go halfway across the world, fetch back a cargo of jute only to find that you...
Ah, Charlotte, I told you he'd blame me.
Well, of course I blame you. How else do you account for the fall in the price?
Look, James, I've thought about that, and I can't believe that
No,
my few...
don't you realise that others have begun to follow suit?
Shall I bring in the coffee? It's always the same. Whenever I try to do anything on my own...
Well, why'd you have to do anything on your own?
Well, what am I supposed to do? Play keep house for a man who's never here? Play mother to Charlotte?
Well, why? Look, why can't you just be a woman?
Go and bring the coffee in, Charlotte.
Oh, if only you two would stop scratching at one another.
Now see what you've done. All you want me for is a doormat.
Oh, rubbish.
Is it? You don't like me doing anything on my own. You begrudge me the success I've had with the mill.
No, I do not.
And William's engine you treated as a joke.
Well, so it was, just playing at being an engineer. Had a few good ideas, I suppose.
Well, he would have had more if someone had given him some encouragement. Look, James, all I ask is that you accept me as I am.
I want you to be my wife, but you seem determined to become a businesswoman.
No. I want to be your partner. Someone you can trust and confide in. Someone you respect.
You mean like Anne?
No. No, that I can't be. I certainly have no intention of being a pale reflection of Anne Onedin. Well, it's about time I did something about that. She's been watching over me ever since I've stepped foot into this house.
Here, what are you doing?
She's dead, James. Dead to everyone except you.
You put that picture back.
No! Oh! I had no idea you still loved her so deeply. I'll do it.
No. Leave it where it is.
James, I've always known I could never take her place. I wanted to so much, and all I've done is hurt you.
I hit you. I'm sorry.
No, I deserved it.
No, no. It's unforgivable. 17 years. All the things I should have said.
James, I'm not Anne, and I never will be. But I'm here. Now.
London? But why?
Because London is the fastest growing port in the world. And Fraser's can't afford to be left behind.
The experience will do you good.
No. No, I'm sorry, Mama. I don't wish to go.
Is there some special reason why you should remain in Liverpool?
Yes. It's the head office of the company I am to inherit. I can gain all the experience I need here. Or is there something else behind this suggestion?
It wasn't a suggestion.
Now, what do you mean?
I thought that as you were here so often, sir, you might find my presence an embarrassment.
Don't be so impertinent to your father.
My father, yes, Mother, but not your husband. That's where the difficulty lies for you as well as me.
Go to your room this instant. And you can start packing immediately. You'll leave for London first thing on Monday.
Elizabeth...
I will not tolerate such rudeness. Go to your room.
Well, I don't think that was very wise.
You realize what the boy was implying.
Well, of course I do. But you allowed yourself to get diverted. Your prime objective is to ease William away from Charlotte, but gently. And by forcing them apart, you'll only increase their determination to go on seeing each other.
Well, in that case, I shall probably go to London with William.
Why?
Take him out and about. Introduce him to more suitable young ladies. In any event, you don't need me here.
Well, I most certainly do.
Nonsense. You can run the office perfectly well without me.
I'm not talking about the office, Elizabeth. I'm talking about us. Oh, damn it, woman, what do I have to do to prove that it's you I care about? I want you to be my wife.
And you want William to accept you as a father?
Well, if possible, yes. Is that so wrong?
No. No. It's just that I've worked for everything I have. I don't think I could ever be entirely dependent on any man. And if I surrender to you, Daniel, that's exactly what I'd be. Dependent.
It has to be close to the waterfront, in an area that the seamen frequent. And as the Harbour Board have bought up all the available sites, the committee have agreed that that old warehouse of yours on Burke Street would make an ideal place for a seaman's home.
I see. And just how much is your committee prepared to offer me for it, huh?
Offer?
Aye. You didn't expect to get it for now, did you?
Well, as the place is almost falling down, we thought you might make it over as a gift.
A gift? Oh, aye. Oh, what do you think, Miss Gaunt?
Well, it's a very worthy cause, but isn't there a foundation home across the river?
Yes, there is. But if we had another seaman's home, we could stamp out those dreadful crimping houses forever. Now, what do you say, James?
Well, I'm sorry, Sarah, but I have a use for the building.
Oh, no, James, this is much more important. You must let Sarah have it.
Must I? Very well, then. You can have it.
Oh, thank you, James.
For £10,000.
What?
Oh, yes. As you said, it's a very rare sight.
But, James, £10,000, that's a ridiculous sum.
James, you can't mean it.
Well, I most certainly do. I'm sure Sarah's committee can raise the money. Why, there's plenty of people in Liverpool only willing to give to charity. Eases their conscience, raises their prestige.
I had hoped you might be one of them.
Well, I might be plenty of things, Sarah, but I'm not a hypocrite.
James, I don't really need that building.
Well, I've been thinking about it, and, well, I think you could make a profit out of that place.
You need to be sarcastic.
I'm not. Just showing you my faith in you. £10,000, Sarah. Well, it's not a bad sum for a doormat, is it?
A doormat? What's he talking about?
I think he was trying to pay me a compliment, Sarah.
Charlotte? Charlotte? Charlotte?
I didn't know who it was, so I hid. I got your note and I told Letty I was going to the shop. Now, what's happened?
I'm being sent away.
No.
To London.
When? For how long?
Oh, ages. I think I'll leave on Monday.
Why? Do you think they could have discovered we've been meeting or something?
I don't think so. It's for business reasons.
It's so cruel of them.
I know. Of course, I don't want to go. But now I've had time to think it over, I can see their reasons. I mean, the City of London is the commercial centre of the world.
William, you do want to
Charlotte,
go.
I don't. I told you so.
Well, then tell them about us. Ask Father if we can be betrothed, and surely they won't send you away to London.
I don't think your father would like the idea, Charlotte.
You don't love me, do you? You say that you do, but when it comes to asking my father...
Now, I didn't say that I wouldn't.
Then you will.
When I decide that the moment is right.
Of course. No, I must go before I'm missed. Come to tea. Letty won't mind.
Will your father be there?
Oh, no, of course not. Bye-bye.
That's most impressive. I congratulate you, Robert. You obviously put a great deal of thought into this.
Oh, I have indeed. There won't be another place like that in the north of England.
Going to cost you a pretty penny.
£50,000, and that's for the building alone. I've already forked out £5,000 for the side.
Time was you'd have lain awake at night because you'd borrowed £10.
Aye, that's true enough. Perhaps I have changed, Daniel. At least I've come to realise that the one thing I'm good at is shopkeeping. And if I am to be a shopkeeper, then I'm going to be the biggest and the best. Thank you.
Well, here's to your new department store.
Oh, thank you.
How much do you want to borrow from me, Robert?
Borrow? Oh, nothing. No, I've already arranged a loan with Harris at the bank. No, I simply thought that as you have so much financial interest in my affairs, that it was only courteous to let you know what is proposed. Of course, I would prefer it if I was under no financial obligation to you.
That is a desire that runs in your family.
Yes, that's true. You see...
Are you a gambling man, Robert?
Well, just a few shillings on the National at Aintree, you know, but...
Go on.
I beg your pardon?
Heads or tails?
Would you mind telling me what all this is about?
Heads or tails?
Heads?
Congratulations, you've won.
I've won what?
No, a good businessman should also be a good gambler. You no longer owe me a penny.
There's £10,000 here. You can't just throw it away. I don't believe it. There's a catch in that somewhere.
No catch.
There's got to be. In all my life, nobody has ever given me out for nought.
Well, there's a first time for everything. You see, your sister is always accusing me of only thinking about business and money. And I intend to prove her wrong.
You've certainly done that with a vengeance. It'll give me great pleasure to tell her so.
Good. I was hoping you might.
Are you quite sure?
The agreement is terminated.
Good morning, Mum.
Morning, Captain Baines. Never thought to find you so far from the sea.
Well, no more did I. I started out by taking a walk, thinking it would do me good. Then I got to figuring and thinking, and ended up by finding myself here.
Yes, time passes. Mind if I join you?
No, of course not. Come on.
You've forgiven me for dismissing you then?
Lord bless you, Mum. It was a long time ago, and it never does any good to go on harboring a grudge.
Some people do.
At the end, I'm all twisted inside.
Is this part of your figuring?
Aye.
Sally?
Very beautiful lady, Mum. I've quite fallen in love with her. It's a fishing smack. I've been thinking of buying it.
And becoming a fisherman, you?
Well, not now, perhaps, but it's no bad thing for a man to think of the future. See, I have no intention of ending up like some masters I know, sitting on a quay and gazing out to sea, waiting for someone to buy him a glass of porter for the price of a few yards. No, I'll not finish up living on memories and charity.
I can't see that happening to you, Baines.
Oh, it could happen to anyone. Not you, of course, because you're well provided for.
Do you have any relatives?
No, my niece died last year. Diphtheria. It took her and the children all in 1 week, so it was just me. You know, Miss Elizabeth, if I had my time over again, there's just one thing I'd really like. A son. You'll have me feeling sorry for myself in a minute.
You count your blessings, Captain Baines. You were born a man. You've no need to be dependent on anybody. Not if you don't want to be. Oh, well. Time I was on my way. Good day, Captain Baines.
Good day, Mom.
And he just tore it up?
He did?
Perhaps Elizabeth's driven him mad. Well, I mean, nobody in their right mind.
No, Sarah. It was an act of pure philanthropy. And he is immensely wealthy.
Well, he won't be for long if he keeps on giving away his money like that.
Perhaps that's what he wants.
Well, I shall simply put his name at the head of my list.
That 10,000 is a godsend. Now, if I can only persuade James to buy my Onedin shares...
There's another one that's gone mad. Do you know how much he wants for that old warehouse in Burke Street? £10,000.
Does he, Miss George?
Well, he'll not get it from my committee.
Well, that's a pity.
Why?
Well, because if he did, he could hardly refuse to buy my Onedin shares now, could he? Never mind, Sarah. Don't give up. You might find some philanthropist who's willing to give his money away.
James, all I ask is that you reconsider. No business venture of mine could be worth £10,000.
I know.
Well, then, let them have the building.
I will if they pay my price. You see, despite what you say, I do put a value on you. Quite a high one.
I know what you mean, and I'm very flattered. And must you always value things in terms of money?
Why not? A good way of measuring one's achievements. Degrees of success, failure. Money's quite a good yardstick, you know.
Do you know, I don't think I'll ever understand you. Your real self lives out there somewhere on the ocean. A secret world that I know nothing about.
Well, why not find out? Here, you've never been to sea, have you?
No.
Well, then, a couple of weeks in Scotland would do you good. Wouldn't do Charlotte any harm, either.
Well, you know, Aunt Mary wants her to go and stay there.
Oh, come on. She can stay with Aunt Mary any time. What do you say?
I'll think about it.
Oh, woman, I'll sail tomorrow morning.
Well, by then I will have thought about it.
Of course, as soon as the sailors come off a ship, the crimps pounce on them. They fill them full of gin, and then they introduce them to
Ladies?
Oh, I'd hardly call them that. But within a few days, all their pay is spent, and they're up to their eyes in debt. So the crimps simply sell them to a next captain wanting a crew.
Sarah, I do know how crimp houses work.
I know you know, but it's so degrading, Daniel. Now, if we had a seaman's home, warm beds, good food, very little cost, there'd be no profit made out of them.
And how much do you want?
Well, as much as you feel able to subscribe. Of course, the property we're after, and it's the only available site, that alone is going to cost £10,000.
What is it, a mansion?
On the contrary, it's a derelict warehouse. But they do tell me it's going to be valuable one day.
Very well. I'll arrange that a banker's draft for £10,000 be sent to your committee. However, there is one stipulation.
What?
We call it the Prince Albert Foundation Home for Seamen.
But there's one called that already across the river.
Yes, and shortly there'll be several others.
Oh, come on, Robert. Sign? I've got all day, you know.
This is a legal document, and knowing you, I intend to read every word of it.
Look, I've explained to you what it's about. I'm forming a company for those two ships that I'm buying. We'll still be in control.
No, I can't agree to that.
What?
Well, it's not a wise move.
I'm not asking for your opinion.
No, you're asking for my signature.
Look, I'm sailing to Scotland tomorrow.
Well, I hope you have a pleasant voyage. Would you like a glass of wine before you go?
No!
Suit yourself.
Robert!
Yes,
Oh, Robert,
well,
you'll
not
never
just
guess.
yet.
But this
Well,
could
we're
serve...
not through yet. Did you get what you went for?
Very much so.
Good. Well, we'll not be long.
Good day, James.
No, that's Sarah.
Are you sure you won't have a glass of wine? It's an excellent vintage.
Now, come on, then. Let's get down to brass tacks. What's your price?
Price?
I presume you want something in exchange for your signature.
No, I'm merely exercising my rights as a shareholder to say no.
Well, what if you weren't a shareholder?
But I am.
Well, what if I was to buy you out?
I'm not so sure that I want to be bought out. Look, the Onedin line, for once, is free of debt, and you're already buying a couple more boats. We are prospering. Seems to me that those shares can only increase in value.
£5,000 in hard cash.
In a couple more years, James, they'll be worth 10 times that amount.
All right. 8,000. And that is my final offer.
It's a pity. Now, if you'd said 18...
For your few shares.
Take it as a compliment, James. As a measure of the value I place upon your ability to make this company prosper.
But I don't want to go to Scotland.
Oh, heavens, child, it'll only be for a couple of weeks.
Letty, you stop calling me child in front of William.
You're not careful, my girl. I'll call you something else, William or no.
I won't go.
Yes, you will. It's either Scotland or Aunt Mary's. And if you go there, I don't get to go to Scotland. So just for once, we'll do what I want. And I'm sure William doesn't wish to hear us squabbling.
Oh, I'm sure he finds it quite enlightening.
The hot water jug's empty, William.
No,
Would you mind?
No, of course not.
Now, you listen to me, my
Letty,
girl.
you're spoiling everything.
I'm spoiling.
I invited William around here for a purpose. Now it's all going wrong.
What purpose?
He was going to ask Papa for my hand. Well, why shouldn't we get betrothed?
Because you're too young, that's why.
Well, lots of people get married at our age.
Charlotte, he's your cousin.
Albert was Queen Victoria's cousin.
That's royalty. They do all sorts of strange things, and that's beside the point.
No, the point is he loves me and I love him.
You think you do? I know it may seem real.
What, you mean I have to wait till I'm as old as you?
I think we'd better wait and discuss this when you're in a more reasonable frame of mind.
I hope you've both kissed and made up.
Yes?
No, we'll get no help from Letty.
Help?
When you asked Papa for my hand.
Look, I think you'd be very
What
unwise.
did I tell you? If she'd wanted to, she could have persuaded Father, I'm sure.
Now listen, both of you, you're both very young. And I think your wisest course would be to wait for a few years.
You see, it's always what they want.
William...
No, I'm afraid I'm rather inclined to agree with Charlotte, Miss Gaunt. At home, I'm always being told what to do, and it's always for my own good.
Oh, William, I knew you wouldn't go back on your word.
Time you were leaving, William.
He has something to ask you first, Papa.
Well?
I'd like to ask your permission, sir, to become betrothed to Charlotte.
$20,000? You can't be serious.
I've never been more serious. But as you think that money is the only thing that interests me, I must needs prove you wrong.
But you can't just give away your fortune.
Well, it does take some application, but I think I'm getting the hang of it.
But you've worked so hard all your life.
And so have you. And your main fear is that you'll end up with nothing. Am I right?
Well, it could happen.
I know. And that is why I've made over half my Fraser shares to you.
What?
I realize how much you would hate being dependent on me. And now you don't have to be. Perhaps we might have dinner tonight. Just the two of us.
With me. Elizabeth, this nonsense has gone on far enough.
James, what's happened?
Well,
Well, tell your mother.
I simply asked if I might become betrothed to Charlotte.
You did what?
without consulting us.
I warned you to keep him away from Charlotte some time ago.
Where our son is concerned, James, you don't tell us to do anything.
It's my daughter that he's been courting on the sly. Do you deny it?
I am aware they've been seeing one another.
You knew about this and you did nothing about it.
It's Charlotte that's been doing the enticing, not William.
So that's why I'm being packed off.
You keep quiet, I'll deal with you later.
No, I will not keep quiet. If you imagine that I'm going to let you ruin my life and say nothing, then you're very much mistaken.
Go to your room.
You can talk from here till eternity, but Charlotte and I will get married whether you like it or not.
I said go to your room.
No! Who do you think you are to order me around?
I'm your father, that's who I am. Now do as you're told.
I'm taking Charlotte with me to Scotland.
Now, William is also being sent away. We'd already decided upon that.
Where are you taking him?
You leave that to us, James.
I will marry him, I will. And I don't care what your papa say, you won't stop it.
Charlotte, don't be so silly. Now, you know full well you can't marry without your father's permission till you're 21, and by then you may feel very differently about William.
Never.
Well, if you feel that strongly, there's no need to get betrothed, is there?
See, that's not the point.
Or are you afraid that William might change his mind? Well?
He's a determined young man. And as Charlotte seems equally determined to disregard our wishes, I see no alternative but to keep them apart for a while.
It's all my fault. I should have kept a stricter eye on her.
No. You can't be expected to be a governess and a businesswoman. No more can Elizabeth be expected to be a mother and run Frasers.
Are they sending William away?
Aye. So when you return from Scotland, you'll go and stay with your Aunt Mary. I've sent her a telegram.
Father, if you think that's the end of it...
I know that it's the end of it. Now, you're not marrying William, and that's final.
You don't care whether I'm happy or not, do you? And I know why. It's because I'm your daughter, and I'm not your son. You've never forgiven me for being born a girl.
Did you talk to him?
No. He's locked himself in his room, and as I have no intention of talking to a closed door, I've left him to his solitude. Besides which, you invited me to dinner.
Well, yes, but under the circumstances...
I think it's better if we leave him to think matters over. In a few years, he'll be free to walk out of my life. And I don't intend being left with just memories, Daniel.
Now, don't fuss, Sarah. It's only James I'm going to see.
But it's an occasion. At least it is in my eyes.
Only if that letter has arrived. Now, you're absolutely sure you posted
I
it?
told you the secretary signed it and I posted it myself.
Good. On second thought, Sarah, it is an occasion, and therefore I think we ought to celebrate it accordingly. I think we'll take our luncheon at the Adelphi. Will you book us a table there, eh? The very best.
Our baggage has all gone down to the ship, James.
Oh, good, good. Well, I'll be down. Sarah's committee have accepted. They're giving me the £10,000.
For the warehouse?
Aye.
I couldn't be so stupid.
Oh, well, when you're spending other people's money, you can be as stupid as you like. Now, the point is, do I accept them?
Do you seriously mean you wouldn't accept £10,000 for my sake?
Well, I thought I'd made that clear yesterday.
Oh, for heaven's sake, I can find somewhere else, and even if I can't, it isn't the end of the world. And of course you must accept.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Thank you. Hello, Letty.
Good morning, Robert. James, I'm just going to see that everything's in order at the workshop before we leave. I'm sure you'll excuse me, Robert.
Of course I will. She's got a fine head for business, has Letty.
Oh, is that what you come round here to tell me?
Not exactly, no. I just thought that this might be an opportune moment to continue our little conversation of yesterday.
Ah, got the smell of it, have you?
Well, yes, seeing it was me that started the hair.
Oh, was it?
Well, I knew what hole it would end up in. Anyway, let's talk about my Onedin shares, eh?
Yeah. Well, £8,000, I said.
Yes, and I indicated that I was willing to let you have them for 20.
18, you said?
Yesterday. James, I have just put £10,000 in your hands by means of Sarah's committee. You were offering me 8. That makes 18. And I'm asking for 20.
Now, look, Robert, this is family.
No. This is business.
Well, I can't give it to you because I haven't got it.
James, down in that harbour, you've got 3 ships loading cotton goods. Do you want me to tell you how much you've laid out on them cargoes? Because I can. So don't plead poverty with me.
You've been ferreting around my ships.
Our ships.
20, you said?
Is it a deal? Good. Now we're both free men.
Send the papers around tomorrow.
Fine. Oh, by the way, it just occurred to me that as you're going away, and rather than you closing all this house up, Sarah and I could come and live here while we're looking for somewhere else to live.
You got enough?
Ah, well, that's because I've got a little bit of brass in my pocket. No? Well, it was just a thought.
All right, then.
Ta. Good morning, Letty.
Good morning,
Thank you,
Robert.
Mrs. Gibson.
Your brother's looking very pleased with himself.
So he should. He's just taken £20,000 off me.
He bought his shares.
Aye.
Is that what you expected to pay?
No. But then I'm not exactly complaining.
And furthermore, you will neither see nor communicate with Charlotte without first gaining my approval. Now, is that quite clear?
Crystal clear, Mama.
Good.
Then I think we should say no more about the matter.
You seem to have taken it for granted that I agree. I don't.
You will do as you're told.
No, Mama, I will not. And neither you nor my father can make me.
If you're not careful, my boy, it won't be London you'll go to, but Australia.
Yes, I thought that might be your reaction. But then I'm only under your control until I'm 21. Then Fraser's becomes mine. But if you make me wait that long to marry Charlotte, I shall make sure neither of you take a penny out of this business for the rest of your lives.
If you imagine for 1 minute that you can drive us...
Elizabeth, I think we should hear him out.
You should. I've had all night to think about this matter. If I'm allowed to marry Charlotte now, I will sign over sufficient shares for you to have a controlling interest in the company. Fraser's will always be yours.
And if we refuse?
If you refuse, Fraser's will mean no more to you than the colours on the funnel of a steamship.
I see. And how are you going to persuade James Onedin to give you his daughter's hand?
Vanity. He has no male heir. If he were to bequeath the Onedin line to Charlotte and I, it would be the biggest shipping company in the north. The Fraser and Onedin line. His name would live on.
William, you've a lot to learn.
You will leave for London on Monday. On your own.
Well, he certainly knows what he wants.
Yes.
Probably end up owning an empire.
It looks as though we'll end up owning 35% of nothing. I'd never have believed William to behave in such a... Well, of course, he's overwrought. He'll come to his senses.
I think not, Elizabeth. He's like you. He won't go back on his word. He's a very determined young man.
James once prophesied I'd end up in a dressmaker's shop. Perhaps I ought to start looking for suitable premises.
Why leave the world you know? Elizabeth, there's a shipbuilder's yard across the water. It's run down, going for a song. We could build it up together, just you and I. Equal partners.
Johnston, get my daughter's trunk aboard that carriage, will you?
It must be here. Definitely saw that trunk brought aboard. Charlotte, you could at least show some interest.
Why?
Oh, for heaven's sake, girl, stop sulking. You can't go to Scotland without any clothes.
She's not going to Scotland.
What?
I've just had a telegram. Aunt Mary's leaving for London and she wants Charlotte to join her there.
London?
Aye, there's a carriage waiting to take you to the station, so say goodbye to Letty.
Goodbye, Letty. Have a good time in Scotland.
Scotland? But I can't go there now,
Come
now
along,
that you're
Charlotte,
not coming.
we don't want to miss the train.
James, my luggage. Can you ask someone to take it ashore?
To Charlotte first, dear. Johnson. Get the gangplank inboard. Give the captain my compliments, will you? And tell him to put to sea at once. How about a glass of wine?
I really think I ought to get my things ashore first. You'll be sailing soon.
Oh, plenty of time for that.
What was that?
What was what?
James, you can't sail yet.
We don't want to miss the tide, do we?
Oh, but I've got to get off. James, you turn back this instant.
Oh, I was under the impression you wanted to come to Scotland with me.
But I can't go now that Charlotte's not coming.
Well, let me show you some of that secret world you say that I keep from you.
I don't think I'm going to like the sensation.
Well, I can't help that.
Oh.
Nor can I promise you a calm passage.